The Decepticon is turned back into a hot chick, and she chases the three out to a car. There's a weird shot here where she apparently transforms back into a robot in about a third of a second. Anyone else notice that the transformations in this movie sometimes take a really long time, and sometimes happen in the blink of an eye, depending on the demands of the scene? There's a lot of screaming and grinding metal that's shot too close and cuts too often, and Michaela kills an aggressive hot Decepticon chick. Then a helicopter flies up to the car, hooks it, and flies away with it. The car is then dropped out of the sky into an abandoned factory before being sawed in half, and miraculously none of them are hurt. Megatron is waiting there, and he approaches Sam and pimp slaps him. Wait a minute, what did the Fallen say just a few scenes ago?
The key to saving our race now lies within his mind.
If Sam is so gosh darn important to the future of the Decepticons, why are they trying to kill him? So far, they've strangled him, shot at him, tried to blow him up, tried to stab him, and dropped him from hundreds of feet up in the air. You'd think they would be as gentle with him as possible until they got what they needed. This is the same plot hole that Matrix Reloaded had, except at least in the movie we didn't know how important Neo was to the machines throughout the film, and you only realized at the end that it made no sense for the agents to be shooting at him. Megatron pins Sam to the floor, and then the little Dr. Bot puts the tracking device from the first Matrix movie into Sam's nose. The thing apparently reads Sam's mind and projects Cybertron symbols. Then the little Dr. Bot says they need to cut Sam's brain. Why? If they can read his mind and scan for the symbols, what more do they need? He's just about to start slicing when the Autobots bust in to rescue Sam.
The battle moves out into a forest, and what follows is actually the one semi-well-done action scene in the film. Some of the CG is still shockingly bad, but the shots are pulled back enough to actually fit two whole Transformers into the frame so we can see what they're doing. They also put Sam into some shots, giving the Transformers some scale so we can appreciate how big the robots actually are. One problem with every other battle that doesn't happen in this one is that 2/3 of the frame isn't taken up by explosions so we can actually see the robots. The Transformers themselves also move slower, allowing us to follow the motion with our eyes. And most importantly, it doesn't cut every half second, so we can enjoy the fight choreography, allowing you to actually get into this battle and start having fun. The only explosion in this fight comes at the end, when Megatron kills Optimus, and with him dies the last tolerable piece of this movie. Past this point, the film devolves from just a really dumb action movie into an abomination that insults your intelligence and tests if your willpower is strong enough to make it to the end credits. Starscream and Optimus meet on top of a skyscraper about how Sam escaped and they need the knowledge in his head. But they read his mind, didn't they? We find out later that the decoded message is one sentence, so we definitely know that they read the entire message in the factory. Why do they still need Sam to lead them to the Energon source? They have the information they need. Anyway, they decide that it's time for the Decepticons to make their presence known on Earth, even though pretty much everyone should remember it from the first film. Soundwave sends a message into space, and we see a montage of Decepticons rocketing to Earth and wrecking ships in major cities. One of these scenes is a big Transformer coming to Paris and capturing Sam's parents. Then the Fallen hijacks every television in the world and says that the Decepticons will destroy the world if the humans do not give up Sam.
Then we cut to the twins harassing Leo. They talk about how they're going to pop a cap in his ass.
What are we gonna do with this shrimp taco?
No, just bump a cap in his ass, throw him in the truck, and then nobody gonna know nothing, not me.
Yeah, not in my trunk.
Your bumper cars?
Oh my god. After that pointless scene, we cut back to the military dumping Optimus's body at the base, where everyone looks sad. Cheer up, guys. You haven't noticed that nobody seems to be able to die in this franchise? The Autobots approach his body, and suddenly all the soldiers pull guns on them. What do you know? It's Deputy Director Asshole. You know, maybe he's related to... Nah. He gets out of the car and says the NEST team is to cease anti-Decepticon operations and return to Diego Garcia, pending further orders.
You are to cease anti-Decepticon operations and return to Diego Garcia, pending further orders.
So, why did he need to pull guns on all of them to do it? Just to be an asshole, I suppose. He says this is now the humans' war.
This is our war now, and we will win it as we always have.
Yeah, go America! Seriously, my glasses fell off. I was rolling my eyes so hard at that line. He talks about how the military is drawing up plans to take on the Decepticons, also implying they might be willing to give up Sam. This doesn't make sense. If they want to fight the Decepticons, what sense does it make to put the Autobots on the sidelines? You know, the only ones who have actually killed Decepticons?
Whatever the Decepticons are after, this is just the start.
Thank you? Who is that guy? How does he know that? Galloway dramatically strips Lennox of his rank, just like I said he would before, and refers to Optimus as a pile of scrap metal. Why is he deliberately provoking these guys?
I really don't like that dude. He's an asshole.
I know what you mean, Nameless Black Soldier. I know what you mean. We get back to more of Sam, Michaela, and Bumblebee, and the twins sitting around not doing anything. Sam blames himself for Optimus's death. I can kinda see where he's coming from, but that really doesn't make any sense. He had no control over any of the events leading up to it, so how can he blame himself? Still, this is the one actual moment of character in the whole film, so I guess I should be appreciative. Sam has the idea to ask the twins about the symbols. Since when were they tattooed on him? And here we get the most horribly offensive line in the movie.
Read? We don't really do much reading.
Wow. There isn't a whole lot to say about this. The earlier twin scenes were more playing out stereotypes, but this is pure racism. Michael Bay has been quoted as saying that the twins were good, clean fun for the kids, and that we're just putting more personality in the film. What's really sad is the controversy over other movies compared to this. Tropic Thunder was literally protested because it used the word retard, when really there wasn't much humor on the subject, and what there was not actually making fun of mentally challenged people. Yes, there was controversy, but where was the protest about the twins? Where were the boycotts and picket signs? The Star Wars prequels were pretty bad in the racism department, but this blows that out of the water. Leo suggests they go visit Robo-Warrior, a rival conspiracy theorist who was mentioned earlier. They pull up to a deli, and it turns out Robo-Warrior is actually Agent Simmons from the first movie. He's introduced speaking a tornado of Yiddish to establish right off the bat that we are not supposed to take him seriously. Simmons is played by John Turturro. What is he doing in this film? While there aren't really any bad actors in this movie, Turturro is obviously a step above every single one of them. I think he's just in this for the paycheck, though based on the way he acts toward Michaela, this movie should have been named The Further Adventures of Jesus. Anyway, after the events of the first film, Sector 7, the agency that studied and monitored the Transformers, was shut down. Why? Simmons was also fired from the government. Why? He's now working at a deli. Why? Is that supposed to be funny? It doesn't make any sense for him to be there. He was the head of all things Transformers, so you'd think the Nest team would want to keep him around. Oh well. Sam tells him about the symbols, and Simmons agrees to help and takes them down into his basement.